Welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show. I'm your host Definition, aka the super fan of HBO that's gonna put you in the HB know. Yeah, I need to work on those intros. With Westworld back for season 3, fans are already working overtime and wondering what could be going on in this world full of splendor. As with all new seasons in the series, the third entry has a brand new opening credit scene, and it is possible that there are messages hidden within that could tease what exactly is going on. Throughout this video, we're going to be breaking down the introduction and discussing what it could be hinting at in the future. We will be going over some of the plot points from the first episode, so if you're not fully up to date, then I highly recommend that you turn off now. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as we do breakdowns of Westworld every week, and please drop a thumbs up if you enjoy the video. With that out of the way, I just want to give a huge thank you for clicking this. Now let's get into our breakdown of Westworld's opening credits. Okay, so the third season has changed quite a bit from what we're used to in several ways. Dolores is now out in what could be considered the real world, though it could also be a simulation within a simulation, but I don't want to get into that, and the entire aesthetic of the show has completely changed. The credits open much in the same way that all of the prior entries have, with what appears to be a sun rising. In the first season, this was the sun coming up over a human host. In the second, it was the body of a buffalo host, and in this third entry, it's the body of an eagle host, which appears throughout the opening. In the first season, this human host could have ended up in several positions, as two were seen getting it on, and another ended up riding on a horse firing a gun, similar to how Dolores would in the second entry. This showed the rising of the hosts in the park, and how they would connect with one another and rebel against their oppressors. In season 2, the buffalo ended up jumping over the edge of the science area in the park, showcasing that the entire illusion was going to come crumbling down. In the third opener, the bird flies towards a jet engine that then transforms into the sun, and slowly the bird melts away and begins to fall apart. This is clearly a nod to Icarus, the ancient Greek story in which the aforementioned character flew too close to the sun in an attempt to escape Crete. Icarus and his father created wings held together with wax in order to get away from the location, but as we mentioned, they got too close to the sun, the wax melted, and they ended up falling to their deaths. Nice. This could metaphorically show that the hosts are flying too close to the sun and are getting in a very dangerous position that will ultimately lead to their downfall. They have passed into a world that they simply aren't equipped to deal with and are close to falling apart because of it. Birds used to be some of the only things that could fly on the planet, then man built the aeroplane and proved that human ingenuity could match Mother Nature. The bird being overtaken by the jet could show that humans can always develop something to take down or match the hosts should it ever come to it. Shortly after this, we can see a piano being strung by a mechanical arm. This has been a feature that has appeared in all 3 seasons' opening credits, and there are also exact repeats of certain elements such as the host's hands that play the piano. These hands play the theme tune, so it makes sense that they would return here, as they're very much the backbone of the opening and they provide it with that theme tune that not even a memory wipe can get out your head. The second big element in the opening credits scene is a host figure approaching their reflection in a pool. Initially, this seems like a nod to the painting The Creation of Adam by Michelangelo. This painting forms part of the Sistine Chapel's ceiling, and it's meant to represent God giving life to Adam in the book of Genesis. Ford already discussed this painting in the show, and he pointed out that it took 500 years for people to notice the shape of a human brain behind God. To Ford, this showed that the divine gift does not come from a higher power, but rather from our own brains. This reaching out of the host to itself could show the fallacy of believing in something else, as all we have are ourselves. The host seems to realize this in the credits, as when it finally touches the water, it falls through. It could also be a nod to the Greek story of Narcissus. You may have heard the term Narcissus before, but the word actually pulls from Greek mythology. Narcissus was a hunter who was incredibly beautiful. Many fell in love with him, but he ended up becoming corrupted by this, and he hated those that obsessed over him. He caused some to kill themselves in order to prove their love, and ultimately he believed himself to be above all others because of his looks. This could mirror Dolores and the hosts who believe themselves to be above humans. And I just realised I'm pretty much crapping on the host right now. Don't worry, Bernard, I still love you. After leaving a ton of bodies behind him, someone close to one of the victims prayed to the gods to punish him for all the pain that he had caused. Narcissus ended up walking by a pool of water, and after drinking some, he saw his own reflection and ended up becoming obsessed with it. In some depictions, he fell into the pool after becoming so fixated upon his looks, and because of this he drowned. In others, he killed himself because he was unable to have the thing he desired most in the world, himself. And yeah, there's just a lot of subtext going on here. Similar to Narcissus, the hosts could end up falling through, and it is possible that their obsession with trying to take down the humans will be their undoing. We know that before this season, Dolores only saw the worst of humanity. Those that were rich enough to be able to afford Westworld used it to live out their worst desires, and because of this, the hosts were used and abused. However, we know from the story of Caleb that humanity itself has its own divides, and that Dolores probably has more in common with him than she would like to admit. Caleb has a robot companion, and there's a clear divide between that and the hosts, showing that everything operates in shades of grey rather than black and white. In another shot, we see a dandelion spreading its seeds. This then transforms into the supercomputer that we learn in the first episode predetermined a path for every person on the planet. It shows their destiny and is unquestioned. It is likely that Dolores and co will try to destroy this in the series, as she was heavily fixated upon it in the first episode. The dandelion could represent the world and humanity spreading their seed and thus going out of control. These seeds then becoming the machine that puts everything back on course could cement that it has brought order to everything. Thus, destroying it would destabilize things and finally set humanity free. The spherical shape is repeated throughout the opening, not only in the cells but also the sun and jet engine. It shows that the machine is tied in with everything. Circles and things being planned have popped up in the series before, most namely the maze, which was a big focus in the show early on. This was a route for William to follow to get to the centre, and its pre-planned path has many things in common with the preordained journey that humans are now given. Humans are now stuck in their own loops, their own set of programming, and the similarities are very eerie. I think the third season will really focus on the class divide and how the rich pretty much run everything, and people below them lead a very subordinate type lifestyle, much in service to them. The circle motif can also be seen repeated with the host being dipped into a liquid. This is something that has been present in the credits scene for every season thus far, however, season 3 differs in a major way. The figure in that is being dumped into red liquid, which could indeed indicate the blood that will be spilled by the humans mixing with them. To me, this shape also has a lot of similarities to the swastika, which is too set to feature heavily in the season from the post-credit scene. In that we see Maeve in Warworld, and the circle on a red background with a shape in the middle does fit a very similar aesthetic. If the season is about liberation from an all-powerful, almost dictator-like figure that decides everything for the populace, then this could also be reflected in the storyline of Maeve. Could she be freeing those in Warworld from their loops, much in the same way that Dolores will free the humans trapped by the thinkings of a machine? Personally, I think so, and I love the way that the first 2 seasons were about freeing machines from the humans, and that the third season could be about freeing humans from a machine. There are tons of things to look forward to in the season, and obviously the further we get into it, the more these titles will make sense. Hopefully I've given you some things to think about, and you've enjoyed us discussing what could or could not be going on with the opening titles. Now obviously I'd love to hear your thoughts on the credits and what you think they hint towards in the season. I'm sure there's a whole host of things, excuse the pun, so comment below and let me know, and if you enjoyed this video then please drop a thumbs up as it massively helps us out. If you want something else to watch after this, then make sure you check out our breakdown of the first episode, which is going to be linked at the end. We're going to be going over the episodes every week, so it's definitely worth staying locked to the channel if the show leaves you scratching your head. If you want to support us from as little as 99 cents a month, then please click the join button below. We massively appreciate it, and as a thank you, you get access to content early. If you want to come chat to us after the show, either follow us at DefinitionYT or click the Discord link in the description below. Every month we give away free movies to people who are subscribed to the channel, and this month you can win the Star Wars Skywalker Saga box set, and all you have to do is comment on a video and make sure you sub with notifications on. The more videos you comment on, the more you have a chance of winning, so make sure you get involved. The winner is going to be chosen at random on the 15th of April, and the set will be shipped out from then to whoever gets the prize, so best of luck to everyone who takes part. This is a channel for people who are never missing television, so if that's the kind of thing you like, you need to subscribe to Definition. Thanks again for taking the time to watch this, you've been the best, and I'll see you next time. Take care, peace.